Hi, I'm Dr. Alphonso, and I've got another patient testimonial, and we were just discussing, this is Mike, and Mike is a typical scenario of what actually happens here in the clinic when the protocols are followed and the patient is, following instruction. I always have said before, as a pleasant side effect here, amazing things happen. And this is a perfect example of that. If you wouldn't mind explaining, why you came in and what you've experienced so far.
My experiences were that I was working really, really hard to try to stay in shape and do the right things. My background is that when I was born, I had a ventricular septal defect that was operated on when I was 12 years old. So they had to wait 12 years before they did the work. So I was always on the frail side, if you will. So I was always in situations where I was being cautioned. Don't run too fast. Don't do this, because I would run out of breath. When I was playing Little League as a kid, I remember getting a hit, and by the time I got to third base, I was on the ground. I couldn't even make it around there. Then when I entered high school, I developed asthma. And the asthma stayed with me through high school, stayed with me through college, stayed all my adult life. I've had this asthma, and I've been puffing away on inhalers. So if I wanted to do any sort of physical activity, I would get as far as I could with it, get my inhaler, suck it down, and keep going, and that was my life. So the idea that maybe that could change was something that I was a bit skeptical about. But after I heard about the protocol that's offered here, I said, why should I not try this? Now, just prior to all that happening, I was diagnosed with a heart valve problem, and I had to get another valve. So they gave me a new valve. And I came through with that feeling pretty good. So, all right, I'm feeling good about it. And then 4 years later, I'm running along again, and I'm starting to feel the palpitations again. So I went back to the surgeon, and he did the test, and he looked at it, and he said, Mike, you're going to have to get another valve. And I was kind of shocked, and he says, well, this happens sometimes. I said, all right, well, okay. And then he gave me a prescription for blood pressure medicine. Now, I know enough about blood pressure medicine to know that once you start on it, it's going to be the rest of your life. So I took it and I stuck it in my pocket, and that's about the time when I came to see you, because I wanted to see whether or not there was something that could be done. And I began to start your protocol, and you started testing me. I'd known about this kind of testing before. It wasn't spooky to me. It was nothing like that. There really is a lot of validity in all this, and I understood that. So when you began working with me and gave me my first measure of various supplements, I was diligent to do it, and I got it done. And then as I'm going forward, I began to kind of measure my activity level and how well I felt with the things I used to do. My wife is very active, and we would go for runs. All of a sudden, I'm running, and I'm not needing the asthma medication. And I stopped. I said, Amy, I don't need this. And then more things began to happen. I wasn't getting any palpitations. Then we liked to bicycle. And my wife's been bicycling since she was a teenager. It's new to me. But she would bicycle, and she'd go up hills, and I would hop off the bike and walk up the hills, because when you get out into Pompeii and all those areas, those are not easy hills. So I found myself lagging behind, but soon after the protocol, I'm keeping up with her. Then, as I'm getting stronger, I'm getting ahead of her. So I'm measuring the fact that I feel better, I'm actually working out better, things are doing really well. So I said, I got to go back to that doctor, and I've got to ask him to run those tests again, which he graciously did. He says, Mike, we don't normally do this. He did the tests again. He came into the office, and he said, boy, that blood pressure medicine must really be working, because I'm looking at two different things here. If somebody told me you switched hearts, that's really working for you. And I looked at him, and I took the prescription out of my pocket, and I said, I never filled it. And he said, what are you doing? And I said, well, I told him about you, and I told him what you did. And he said, well, I can't make a comment on that medically, but it seems like it's working, so you might as well keep doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I got validated, at least, by the doctor who saw what I was and saw what I am now. And there I am, doing great. No more asthma medication. That's long gone.
How many years were you taking that?
Well, that was over 30 years.
Okay.
30 years of inhalers.
Mm-hmm.
And now I actually still have a supply which had been sent to me by my insurance company on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
And there's still a supply sitting in my closet.
Mm-hmm.
Now, it doesn't seem like I'm ever going to need them again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I dropped weight. There was also this really funny thing about this mole that was on my face.
What was that?
Yeah, and it was I don't even remember what side it was on,
was.
but it had been there all my life. And talking about what I hear from you is when your organs are healthy, it brings health to the rest of your body.
Mm-hmm.
So heal the organs,
Mm-hmm.
which makes sense. That makes so much sense. So the mole started to get smaller and smaller and smaller, and
It was like drying out.
it's
Because
gone.
You came in,
Yeah,
and this
yeah.
mole that he had for years, I looked at him and I thought you had like maybe dry ice or something, some kind of cosmetic thing to ice it, because it looked like a scab. It was like
Yeah.
it was ready to fall off, right? And I said, "You doing it?" He said, "No." He goes, "This is just happening." And then, like another visit or so, all of a sudden the thing just fell off,
Just gone. Yeah.
and he had this pink skin underneath that he had that you can't even see anymore. He's got a picture of it. He had a picture in his phone. He showed me. So as a pleasant side effect, this mole that he had for years like dries up and falls off. So
So when I travel and I go visit people that I haven't visited on business in a long time, I walk in and they immediately say, "Whoa, you're looking good. What happened to you?" Because I did drop weight. I did get physically more in shape,
mhm.
and I look forward to the next bike ride. I look forward to the next run. I'm not angst. There's no anxiousness about, oh, can I do this or not? And I find myself keeping up with young people. And my wife and I work with college students, and they love to do things, and we run around with them and do different things, and I'm just no asthma. It's great.
Mhm.
So I'm feeling amazingly better, and I'll continue with the protocol because I know that there are always little improvements, and there's things that a human being does because they think, oh, I'm feeling great now. I can do X, like smoke a cigar. And I'm telling you, I smoked a cigar the other day. The next day, I went doing a normal exercise that I do. I couldn't do it.
Mhm.
And I immediately recognized it was that dumb cigar.
Mhm.
And I don't even inhale the things. And then certain food groups that are not good for me. If I chow down on them a little bit because, oh, my mother made it,
Mhm. Mhm.
I shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Any sort of sweets and things like that. But, hey, look, you're going to trip up a little bit. But I found that I can bounce back pretty easily. And so I'm going to stay with the protocol, and I'm going to see what happens. I can't see anything wrong with the protocol at all. It's great. It's great. My doctor's stunned. Friends are stunned. And usually people say, what's his name?
Mhm.
So that's
Yeah.
up to you now.
Yeah. And the thing is with this, which is really nice, he comes in for something, but we're not treating anything particular. That's the beauty,
Yeah.
right? You're not treating anything as a pleasant side effect with what his body's saying that it wants, using the nutrition response testing, changing up the eating a way that's, makes sense, right? Your body decides, hey, I'm getting better, and these pleasant, amazing things happen as a pleasant side effect.
Yeah.
That's the really cool thing about this. It's just enabling these bodies to do what they were intended to do, but just kind of forgot about today, but So anyway, miraculous, many things happen here at the clinic. This is a very amazing situation. This video is a little bit longer. I encourage you to share this with your friends and family, people you care about. The important thing with this is Mike is a very dedicated patient with his wife. They were committed to doing this. And if this is a situation where if it wasn't going to work, it wasn't going to work, right? There was no hidden agenda of I didn't put any trick over you of thinking that it's something, hypnotized you into thinking it worked. It was either, when men come in, they stick with it, they do it, it's either going to work or it's not, and this is a perfect example of all these wonderful things. So, thanks for your time.
Sure, thank you. Appreciate you very much.
Been a great patient, continues to be so. You can check us out online. Check out the Facebook page. If you have any questions, you can call the office. Let us know. All right, folks. Thanks a lot.